Matt, 2 weeks into pre-season now. Have you enjoyed being back?
Yeah, really have. It's been 2 weeks of hard work. The lads have been incredible with their work. We've done triple sessions on days. We've worked extremely hard. Um, we've tried to keep it fresh and enjoyable, but at the same time being mindful of the work the whole way through. And the lads have been great. I can't say anything but they've been that. They've really applied themselves well in the work that we've done. I think they're happy for the games to start. I must admit, I think they are, and I think we all are looking forward to them. But that first initial couple of week block is really, really important. It's just been great to have everybody together. Which halfway through that, when the international guys and Evan joined, and then obviously Dave came, we had a real influx of 5 lads, which was great. I think the 13 or 14 would get a bit lonely, so making it up to the good numbers was good. It's just been great to be together. So yeah, enjoyed it, but we're looking forward to the games.
Got the ball out pretty early on into those sessions, and it's not something that you necessarily associate coming straight back into pre-season and the ball always being brought out in the first session. But is that a good way of disguising the extra work that the lads have got to put in?
Yeah, disguise running. Anyone who's played anything from Sunday League to what we play, there's always an element of disguise running into it. But we will always get the balls out from day one. I think that's changed a little bit. There's not many that still demand the running is just continuous running constantly, and we certainly don't want to do that, although there is an element to that at times. From day one the balls are out, but definitely with an element of disguise running to it, and we'll always do that. That's not going to, I always come back to my playing career, and I hated just doing purely running. Got to dangle the carrot of the ball there at the time.
You mentioned the lads who came back in ever so slightly later, rightly so, with the excursions that they've been on all the way through the summer, but they added a certain energy, didn't they, the moment they stepped the foot back in the building?
Excursions is a good way of putting it, Tom. I think you're right. It was really, really tough for Donovan in Miami and Marbella. Really tough. I think they went snorkeling in a coral reef somewhere there. So excursions is a good way, a glass bottom boat and all that. But they had a good, it was a good time. They were on camp from, I think it was the 13th or 14th of May. So they had that initial couple of weeks, and then they went straight through until, I think again it was the 13th or 14th of June. So they had a good 4 or 5 week block of playing. So we wanted to be conscious of giving them a little bit of time as well. After it, families and stuff like that are so important. It's a long season, so I didn't want to rush them coming back in. But it was great to have them as well. It was great to have that big influx of the experience and the athleticism and the characters. It was great to wish them all back. And again, as I said last season, we're so proud to have those 3 represent their country. So proud to see them put on that shirt and have the experiences that they have. So love having them back in. And then with Evan, he's just he's come into a completely new challenge and a completely different environment, and he's settled down really, really well. Really pleased with him. So and he's fit as a flea. He's been playing, as we know, regularly. So it's good to see him. Good to see the dynamics of everybody. And then probably didn't say too much at the time, but Dave's face when he walked back through the building was a sight to behold as well. You could see how happy he was to be back and to be back in the environment and ready to work as well. So yeah, great to have them 5 in particular, like we say, and obviously because they were staggered, but the guys that had done the first week, make sure that they knew that they'd done a week on top ahead of them, and they welcomed them with open arms.
You mentioned Evan there. We spoke to him earlier this week, and he said about the difference of coming in and it being almost a dream come true to come in and play full time. Is it about managing him to get him up to the speed now of playing full time, something he's not perhaps experienced before, and just getting him ready for the experiences of League Two?
Yeah, I think, in terms of the full-time element, they some of the guys over there, since our football club took them over, have kind of hybrid worked full-time, so it's not necessarily as much of a shock. And again, the way that the guys who own the football club, they're working that over there, it will mirror what we do in a hell of a lot of it. So that element I wasn't too fussed about. But yeah, in terms of being with a new team and a new environment and a different level challenge, you could see that the first couple of days everyone was a little bit like, oh, okay, what's going on? But we're a welcoming group, and after those first couple of days, he's really settled himself down, and we're starting to see some of the left foot that he has, and it's an incredible tool and weapon that he does possess, and we look forward to seeing it. He's a wonderful kid as well, which is, again, me now, that's the most important thing, is the character behind it, and he's a great kid.
He's one of a couple of new faces that have been brought in over the summer. Obviously, we signed him in January, but great to see him in. You've been pleased with how everybody else has settled in that you've brought in over the summer?
Yeah, Charlie, very, very well. Knew he'd be a fantastic addition, not only as a player but as a character. He's a great kid. I'm sure we'll enjoy some of the performances that he puts in over the course of the season, because he's a wonderful, wonderful kid. Connor, he's he's a hell of a talent. He really, really is. Again, look forward to seeing him put on the shirt as the season progresses, and him finding his feet in the division a level above. He looks to possess everything that you would want. A hell of a specimen, cracking athlete, and he's a good kid as well. He's starting to come out of himself now. Who am I missing?
Tommy.
Yes, Tommy, and then Tommy. I'll tell you what, for a young kid, the voice and the booming voice that he has, he's a good kid. The only one thing, if he starts trying to ref my small-sided games again from the sides, then I might have to replace him in terms of getting one of the younger ones in. No, but I love that. I want to hear that voice from him. He's got character. He's got personality. Really enjoy working with him. He's a good kid.
You mentioned in an interview with BBC WM about still wanting extra additions, plenty of work going on behind the scenes, isn't there, to make those things happen?
Yeah, sorry, last one I haven't mentioned, Joshy as well. So we spoke about Dave. Josh he's an effervescent kid, such a good character, and in terms of the work rate that he's come in, you see he bounced in with a smile on his face. It's wonderful. He's welcoming his first child, him and his partner, in a few months' time. So we look for a baby girl as well. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning that. They're seeing the lad's face. He looks settled, he looks lean, he looks ready to go. And him and Jamil have enjoyed welcoming each other. So, yeah, the guys that we've brought in, they fit the mould of what you're just asking the question there. But they're incredible people. So yeah, love having them all in. In terms of that character side of things, it becomes first and on the tick sheet, and it's the one defining thing that if that isn't right, then they won't come in. And then with all five of those and the ones that we do bring in the future, that'll be that'll be right at the top of why we bring them in, because I only want people that want to get better. I only want people that want to work for us. I only want people that are here to improve. And here to make the environment better, and that is a key fundamental of the people that we have and we will bring in, because we're a team, very much so that we're completely together and we'll need each other. So having those characters are so important when we hit the hard points in games. If you don't have that, then you can start to see frailty. Is that the right word? I more mean fraying away at stuff if you don't have that bond to begin with, and we have that, so we have to face those challenges head on.
On that, obviously trying to still bring new faces in, there is work going on in the background, but I suppose it's about, we can be a little bit more patient this year, can't we, because of the settled group that we've got here. You're not going out and, I was going to say panic, bringing people in. You can be patient and wait for the right ones to come along.
Yeah, clearly you always want people to be in sooner rather than later. I'm not going to say anything other than that. Unfortunately, the nature of it is it doesn't sometimes work like that. I think we've seen at the top end of the tree that sometimes it takes for a move to happen up there for it to then filter down onto a load of knock-on effects for if we're trying to recruit someone from X club, but they're waiting for that player to move from there, and then all of that kind of knocks on. So it will shift and it will move with the ones that we want to bring in. We've got a list of 4 or 5 guys for each position that we do want to bring in that we're ready to move on, but sometimes it might take that bit of patience. Again, I'm not I could have my squad completely filled now if I wanted to, but I don't want that. I want the right ones that I want to bring in and we want to bring in to improve us, which is what it's all about, but also that are right for the environment. Once again, they fit the model. They want to improve. They want to get better. They want to wear that shirt with pride, and they want to achieve something together. So that will always kind of predetermine when I push the button. But listen, we're working hard to make that happen. Would rather they were in sooner, but that sometimes isn't the case.
You mentioned the games earlier. We go into Alvechurch to start our pre-season fixture list. You ready to get going now, and with the games?
Yeah. I think myself, the coaching staff, we're all ready to enjoy the games now. You always are. You want that carrot at the end of it. You want that carrot at the end of the week, which is a game. And then we go into a good block of them. Obviously, as you say, we've got Alvechurch Saturday. Then we go into the Villa game. We've got a real mixture of games throughout the next month, which we wanted, and obviously culminating the Drada and Solihull game. So there are some real good things to look forward to. Obviously the Dublin trip as well, which is going to be really enjoyable from a team bonding point of view. Being completely in each other's skin for 4 or 5 days is going to be great. But loads of other good experiences along the way with the Birmingham and the Villa games, and a couple of other behind closed doors that we're going to do. So yeah, good variety again.
On the games, you've mentioned the squad. One person who won't be available for those is Danny Johnson. Could you just clear up that situation for us, please?
Yeah, unfortunately Dan's not been able to train. There were some complications from a viral infection in the off-season, which kind of come out the blue a little bit, and because of that he wasn't able to train in the off-season, and then that's obviously carried on into pre-season. We're unsure what the timeline on that is at the moment. I don't expect him to play in any of the pre-season games, but we're kind of working closely with the medical guys, and we're kind of awaiting advice from a specialist to see what that next step looks like. But listen, Dan's here, he's in the building every day, he's doing the bits that he can do. And we just, as I say, we're working really closely with the guys to see when that then becomes that we can get him back out there. But as at the moment, there's an unspecified time on that, and as I say, it might take a little bit of time with the fact that he hasn't been able to do anything in the off season. So yeah, that's probably all I can say on it at the minute, because the picture's not 100% clear. But whatever happens, he's got complete support in terms of getting him back. And we'll just keep working as to those timelines when we find out more.